Hello, and welcome to our new podcast, When Hope Endures, with Wesley Sellers.
And Mabel Sellers.
In this podcast, we'll be sharing the stories of individuals who have gone through some struggles in their time, but have maintained hope and have thrived through those struggles and trials that they had to go through. We'll be starting with the story of Mabel Sellers, who, shortly after the birth of our fourth child, she had a stroke. She was in the hospital for about a month, between the hospital and rehabilitation, relearning how to read, write, even math and numbers, speaking.
Yep.
And then she also had some altered vision during that time. And so we wanted to share her story because as we were going through that, we got to know a lot of other individuals who were also going through something.
Yeah, going through the same, in this case, the same of strokes, right? And that they're survivors. So when this happened to me, I decided I want to do this. I want to share it because I'm not the only one. And of course, I'm not the only one. But at that time, you feel like that only happened to you. And so that's why I decided, okay, I met all these people. I want them to share their life and the way they have
Grown.
they have grown, and the way they have overcome these things. And it's not, I think for now, it's not just stroke. For at the beginning, we're gonna focus on stroke survivors, but I would like to also go beyond that because there's a lot of brain damage people, well, like people that had a lot of or that had brain damage, and then even with people that have lost a part of their bodies
A
or
limb or something.
yeah, I want to reach out to those people too, to know their stories and how they keep thriving through life.
Yeah, I think our eyes were opened quite a bit when you had your stroke, right? We were just coasting through life, not realizing how many people really have something they're going through. Everybody has something that they've had to go through in their life. Some are life-changing and severe, like the loss of a limb or brain injuries or stuff like that. Others, it's not so big, but it's still something that they've had to go through.
Mm.
And after your stroke, you were invited to participate in basically a breathing study with a lot of other stroke survivors. And I think that's when the idea came up to you that
they had so much to say in there, but we didn't have the time. And so I want to reach out to them again and ask them what's their story.
Right, let them share their story. Because everyone, even though you were all there, you were all stroke survivors, each one of you had a very unique story with unique challenges to overcome.
Yeah, each one of them had different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them, you can, like me, you can see them and never realize that they had a stroke. But inside of them, they feel different.
Mm-hmm. And they're, thriving each day, right? Improving each day with, in spite of the struggles they may be dealing with.
Yeah.
I think as part of that sharing the story, it's healing to the person who gets to share the story, as well as can give hope to those who are going through something themselves or who will go through something. So it gives them an opportunity to heal through sharing, but also to encourage, inspire, and give hope to others.
Yeah.
We would also like to capture with this the stories of the spouses or caregivers where possible. Because as Mabel has her story, I have my story on the other end of that, where we had a newborn. And luckily we had family to help out with that. But then we had 3 other kids that still had to try to make it through school when they weren't sure what was going on. So I was kind of an emotional wreck at the time. The kids weren't sure what was going on. There was a lot going on this side as well. And then through the recovery process there, learning what we could through the rehabilitation, how to help out. We'd love to invite the caregivers as well to share their side of the story.
Yeah, I would really like that.
Because I think that's a side of the story that sometimes doesn't get told.
Mm-hmm. When they probably are suffering as much as the person or more. Because the other person might not, like me, for example, I might think these are my struggles and I don't see outside of the walls of my struggle sometimes. But the caregiver see that and beyond. Like they had to struggle with this person that is, oh, and it might not be a struggle, but they had to face this challenge with the person that had the stroke plus the whole family outside.
The role definitely changes up a little bit there. Another inspiration to this, because it was an inspiration to you, was one of the doctors you had in rehab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also like the way that we can see the things sometimes is like, why was he there? But then he had a stroke himself when he was
27 years old, and when he was in the middle of medical school.
Yeah, and you see him and you're like, how can he do this? But once you talk to him and read his book and everything, is like, oh, I really need to repent and actually like know how brilliant this guy is. And amazing, and it's a hope for everybody else that he could still be a doctor and he could still be with their rehab people and be an inspiration to those rehab people.
I think that was a huge part, was the inspiration, because as they're saying, he had a stroke at 27 when he was in the middle of medical school, and after that he was still able to go back and finish his studies and become a doctor. He still struggled with movement in his dominant side.
Yeah, right hand.
Right hand side.
Well, his right whole side.
Yeah, right leg, right hand. He had to support himself kind of on a podium when he would be writing notes with the left hand. His speech was a little more difficult to understand at times, but the compassion that he showed,
oh my gosh, yes.
and the knowledge, I remember, and we'll get more in this as we talk about your story, but you were struggling one day. You weren't sure what was going on because you were still adapting to all the changes going on in your body. And he went over to the bed beside you, touched your feet, and said, you know what, you're going to be okay. And having that come from somebody who had been through all of this and had overcome it, had learned to thrive in the face of adversity,
yeah,
that really gave you some hope.
Yeah, and his touch was like, if I'm pretty sure if Jesus touched me, it would have been better. But his touch was like so compassionate and so like giving you the good vibes of you're gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got this. Yeah,
You're receiving the hope from somebody who's been
through this.
through it there. And then that's when you realized this is why he's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These are the stories we hope to share over the next few episodes. We'll be sharing Mabel's story, and then we've already reached out to some people in the past. We need to reach out again, but we hope to share the story of some others. And we invite those who have a story to share as well to
Reach out
leave a
to
comment.
us. Yeah.
Put your emails in the comment section of the review. It won't be, nobody can see that besides us if it's in the review section of this, and we'll reach out to you. We would love to find a way to share your story as well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, and hopefully you join us as we go on this journey through hope and recovery and healing.
Thank you.